Yes, indeed. The Big M welcomes the man behind Operation Hambletonian from last year, the 2009 Horse of the Year, Muscle Hill. Trainer Greg Peck joins us to join us on a beautiful night here to debut your colt Holiday Road. But you've thrown the switch on Hambletonian, Operation Hambletonian 2 with Holiday Road. Let's look back, first of all, at that undefeated 12 for 12 Horse of the Year season with Muscle Hill. We'll reminisce a little bit here. Single season earnings mark, trotted a world record in the Hambletonian, 150-1, and left us all wondering, was he the greatest ever?
Well, of course I'm going to be biased, but here's what I say now that the year is over, because I didn't want to say it at the time. I thought everybody will say, you shouldn't say that. But now that it's over, in fairness to him, I don't remember a horse of either gender or either gait winning as often, as easily. Like, he was really never strongly urged even, and most horses that we can think back over the years that were great were either beaten at some point or strongly urged to make it, and you could make the case he never was, so I think that says a lot.
And he stayed healthy, he was easy on himself,
Yeah.
And you mentioned that around the Hambletonian time, he had a gait like a barrel rolling down the hill, that classic trotting gait.
Well, that's what you read.
Right?
They say you want a trotter to have is the barrel rolling down the hill, and he certainly had it, and he had it even more at 3, that's for sure. And he was healthy. I mean, that was the thing about him, that there was never a day that you said, oh, there's this or there's that, and we're in trouble. He never made us feel like that. We still felt the overall anxiety of doing it, because it's still a horse race.
Yeah.
I never forget that. It doesn't matter. I mean, you see horses all the time, and things happen in a race, so you truly never know. So we were very fortunate the way things worked out.
Yeah, looking back at the Hambletonian right here, with Brian Sears said he was just like driving a sports car. A perfect 4 for 4 going in. That looks like the game plan again this year. Reeled off the fastest Hambletonian in history right here. And this comes just before that track record at Balmoral Park of 152 and 3/5. Talk a little bit about that anxiety going into the Hambletonian. Was it nerve-wracking, or did you just kind of say, you know what? I've done what I can do. It's beyond my control.
Well, I actually should take a page out of my own book. Jackie Ingracia said to me the other day at the farm, she had read somewhere where I said, it only takes one, and pressure is not having one like that. And
Right.
there's something to be said for that. So I probably should just relax and enjoy the moment. But at the time, again, we always respected the competition. It was a good group last year, and again, you truly never knew who was going to win the race. I mean, that's why they raced them.
All right, World Trotting Derby. Luke McCarthy had to fill in for Brian Sears. So he did overcome a little adversity. The Canadian Trotting Classic put Brian Sears over the 100 million mark. At Lexington, he faced the strong wins there in the Kentucky Futurity, and also, I believe, at Woodbine, his 20th win in a row in the Breeders' Crown. Again, the strong win. So it wasn't like he didn't overcome some adversity, right?
No, a lot of people have asked me, too, speaking of the strong wins and what, kind of some of the weather conditions that we hit and what happened in Du Quoin, about him not beating 150. A lot of people said, gee, I wish he had beaten 150. Does that bother you? It really doesn't, because I look at it this way. Going back to what I said earlier, he was never strongly urged. I think anybody who is a student of the business, who watched him closely, realizes he could have done it. It just didn't come about. That's all.
Now, he retired, Southwind Farm.
Yeah.
How's he doing? Do you know at all?
You know what?
There was a rumor. Now, there was a
Yeah.
rumor that he was going to come back to race, but that was probably just an internet chat room thing, right?
What happened was you kind of would not have imagined the way that things worked out, and everything fell into place. And at the time he was syndicated, part of him in his 2-year-old year. The deal was that he would retire at the end of his 3-year-old year.
Yeah.
So, an interesting thing, when I saw Rachel Alexandra finish second twice, I happened to be there.
Yeah.
The Kentucky Oaks Day. I said to Jerry Silva, who was there, there's the poster girl for Muscle Hill stopping. Do I think he would have been beaten? No, I really, really don't, and I do think he could have been the horse who could have gone to Europe, 5-year-old, 6-year-old, whatever they were. I think that he just had such maneuverability. We talk about the whole sports car analogy, that I think that he would have been able to do it.
Okay, well, we look forward to his offspring, certainly. Let's transition, shall we, and look to the future. And we just saw him warm up. He looked great. Holiday Road won the Peter Houghton Memorial. We're going to take a look at that here, making him the sport's fastest freshman trotter last year. Here he is right here, 2009 Hambletonian Day, 154 stakes record.
Well, and I thought that race was as impressive as Muscle Hill's 2-year-old Breeders' Crown. Because if you watch the race closely, you know, there's a little activity going to the half there, and he has to settle back in, and then he has to pull first over, and he won easily in 54. So the difference is though he did not come out of it. He was not healthy the rest of the year, and I look back now.
You mentioned something about his weight, not being able to keep on weight.
Didn't carry his weight, didn't carry his muscle tone, and I say, you know, if I really knew what I was doing, I should have stopped with him Peter Houghton Day, which has happened. There have been some horses who won the Peter Houghton, and then they've decided to stop with them at that point, and that's what I should have done.
Okay, and at Lexington, that led to his
that's what happened.
It
was just he had his general health was not good. We did all the tests, the x-rays, the scans, and you really didn't come up with anything, but his general health wasn't good. And I must say, this year, he looks healthier than ever. And,
did he put on weight?
Thanks to Molly and Sylvia, who look after him constantly, he put on weight. His height is better. His muscle tone is better. Everything looks better than it did Peter Houghton Day, because unlike Muscle Hill looked good every day, all the time. Holiday Road did until this spring, really.
Okay, as everybody knows, he's a full brother to Ken Workington,
Your namesake.
So he can vindicate that horse's downfall, of course, before the Hambletonian. Sold as 115,000 as a yearling. He's got a new ownership configuration. Right. Tell us about that.
Well, Dale Valente Farm bought in. Mike Galata bought a piece of him.
He said you're going to win the Hambletonian.
Well,
but of course
you know what? They can all say that. You know what I am surrounded by. If you take the Pontones, if you take
I'm sorry, Pontones. I don't know who are they.
We've been very fortunate as owners. If you take the Pontones, if you take Jerry Silva, and
there's
Teresa
another
Gentry,
name. You're a name
No,
dropper,
but and if you take Arthur Pronti and Patricia Bowles, and you take Mike Galata, what you have is a very positive force. I wish I could be more like
Good
them,
aura
but
to have
I'm
around
always thinking of the other side of it.
All right. Well, what do you think of the competition at this time?
Oh, you got. I mean, tonight somebody said to me, it's kind of like a mini Hambletonian. You have Lucky Chucky, you have. Muscle Massive, Coco Lindy won a lot of races last year. I noticed he finished well in his qualifiers. I've noticed him. There's lots of good ones in there. Temple of Doom is a well-bred horse.
What do you think of Break the Banquet going over to the Yonkers Trot a limb?
Well,
I don't know about that. I got him number one.
Well,
but you might be number one next week.
I don't know about that. I mean, that's up to them. I mean, Trond is an excellent horse trainer, and I can tell you, I see him in the morning. I saw him as soon as yesterday on the strip. The 3/4 mile straight track.
Straight away,
and Trond is, very focused on him, so I'm sure he thinks that he can do the job.
Okay, you won a race earlier this week with a 2-year-old Yankee Glide filly, red, white, and blue stone. What's up with her, and what's up with the rest of your stable?
Well,
what's going on?
She is a good filly. I said that about. She was the one that I kind of stamped in January, kind of like I did with Muscle Hill and Holiday Road. She really had the ability and could really go, and so far it looks like she can. So it's really nice that she's done that. Brian again has done a great job with her, as he did with Muscle Hill, as he does with Holiday Road. The other night she was a little grabby. He kept her in and then brushed the lead, and she won easily. So, we're excited about her. As far as the rest of the stable, I have a couple of trotters and one pacer that are behind. They had these funny little injuries that I never heard of before, and I kind of had to back off with them. So hopefully, the second half of the season that they'll come out.
All right. Greg Peck, always a pleasure to have you on board here. Operation Hambletonian 2. Underway with Holiday Road.
Thank you very much, Ken.
Okay, Greg Peck in the Sulky. Coming up next, Dave Brower, Mr. Drive Time.